What's up, Latoya? AB. Good morning. I think it's afternoon here. It's like 12:33 where I'm at, but thank you. Tawana Carter, hi. Sue B. I'm gonna stop saying names here pretty soon because I'm gonna butcher some. Hello, hello. Hi from the UK. Same here, 12:33. Good morning, Kev. Hello. Hmm. What's up? Uh, while we letting everybody just file in, um, I'm going to do a video this weekend, but the house is asleep. My YouTube studio is actually kind of busted down right now. I've been doing some basement reno project, and so like my cameras aren't in place, my lights aren't in place. Everything is really discombobulated right now. So I plan on finishing my basement project this weekend, and then I'll get back to my white videos. Thank you. Silky Australia said, "Hi, Cheeky. Love your videos from Australia." Thank you. And it's 2:33 in the morning there. Good gracious, California. What's going on? What's going on? Last time I was on live, I told a young lady. I think I remember it was like something unicorn. And I told her that I would, if she rephrased her question or rewrote her question, her and another person, that I would redo their question. And my wife told me that I missed both of their questions again. So a unicorn something, and man, I can't remember the other name, but I apologize. Sometimes my feed, as these questions come in, it's a lot to deal with, and so I can't always keep up with all of the comments because people are having conversations and they're asking questions. So I'll probably have to say this a few more times. If you're asking a question, put like three or four symbols before your question so I can decipher it from the conversations that people are having amongst themselves, just in case it gets thick in here. I don't think it will. I usually don't get too many people if I come on too early, so I kind of like the smaller conversation, or the smaller pool of people, because we can have a more intimate conversation. Okay, she said, "Hi, Kev, love your channel. Got a question. Why would a guy text you frequently, but when you ask to meet up, he says he's not sure yet? So confusing." Um, I suppose in this internet era, I would have to preface my answer with, "Have you met the guy in person yet?" A lot of people have internet relationships and text-only relationships where they really don't even know the person that they're talking to. So if he's if he's slow about meeting you, it could. I mean, I would have to know if you've actually, met him. But if he's slow about meeting you or hanging out with you in person, he could just be nervous or be shy. But if you haven't met him in person, he could be hiding something. You could be being catfished. I've been catfished twice. I might do a video on being catfished. Uh, both times, no, one time I was catfished, and the other time, yeah, I was catfished twice actually. One time it was the real person. It was just some drastic changes that had happened, and the other time it was just somebody completely different than I thought they were. So, I mean, that was back in that was like '05. So I'm not being catfished these days, but so it just would depend on if you've actually met them. Um, but if you have met him and he's still avoiding spending time with you, he could be hiding something. He could be nervous about you finding out things about him, or becoming bored with him, or just not looking the way he might have looked the first time you seen him. A lot of times, the guy might wear his best outfit and then meet a girl, and maybe he don't got it like that, and he can't keep up those appearances. You know what I'm saying? In some way, maybe he feel like he might have misrepresented himself, and he doesn't really know how to present well enough without repeating that same or and repeat that same presentation of himself. It could be a lot of things. And Strawberry said, "I finally made it to live chat." Yes, 9:30 a.m. in Cali. Yep, y'all 3 hours behind us. Okay, Baby Diva says, "Have you ever had a side chick?" No. First of all, that's a good question. Have I ever had a side chick? A lot of people get in my comment sections, and they say things like, "Oh, you seem like a player yourself," or something of that nature. Um, no, I've never had a side chick. Especially no, not at all. Um, First of all, I don't do that. I don't do anything like that. I understand how that would affect my wife. But even if I had the energy and I didn't have the respect for my wife, well, I wouldn't have the energy. That's the thing. It's like I'm an introvert. I need a certain amount of personal time, of meditation time, of space from people. I'm a drastically like just distant introvert. Like I don't even know if that makes sense, but I have to have my space or a quarantine moment for myself every day. These guys that run around and they talk to multiple women at a time. I don't know how they have the energy, how they muster the moxie to attempt to live double and triple lives. I just don't have the energy. I don't have the mental energy. I don't have the emotional energy to be sensitive to the emotional needs of multiple women. And my wife isn't emotionally taxing, but she's a woman, obviously, and there's a good amount of sensitivity that I have to have in dealing with things just day to day. And I think I did a video about why guys need space, and I spoke about the part of a man's personality that he has to explore away from the responsibility of being sensitive. And that's why guys get together and they say crazy things, and they do crazy things sometimes because they need that outlet, that masculine outlet. uh, Having a side chick would just more of a energy vacuum for me, so uh, no, I don't. And then side chicks, and I get a lot of emails. Side chicks aren't really familiar with their place anymore. Side chicks seem to have this thing where they want to become main chicks, and they're not really settling for less anymore. And so, just from the outside looking in, the player friends that I have, or the people that I know who do this, are really having trouble keeping their side chicks, in line, so to speak. You know, uh, Everyone wants you to leave your wife. When I talk to my guys who like to play this multiple women game, these women don't necessarily settle. Eventually, the feelings get strong enough to where they want a real relationship with this person, and they'll ruin his family to get it. And he's ruining his family anyway, so he deserves what's coming to him. But at the same time, I just it's too messy for me. I like my peace and quiet. Damn, that was a long answer for side chicks. So. Uh, Why is it hard to leave a relationship when you know your boyfriend is wrong and multiple people have told you about his actions? Well, um, assuming that those actions and accusations have been confirmed, I'm not sure why it's so wrong for us to leave something we know is detrimental to us. Sometimes, and that's why I say, and others have said, love with your brain. People lead with their hearts, and when you do that, your heart can betray you because your heart's not going to tell you what uh, to do the right thing for your emotions. Your emotional stability. Your heart wants what your heart wants, and that's it. And if people had the ability to control what their hearts wanted, then the world would be better off. You know, um, we'd have world peace. But people are ambitious. People love what they love. People can't explain the things that their heart desires, and so because they can't control it, they end up putting themselves in very bad situations. And if you're in an abusive relationship, or mentally or emotionally, or a gentleman or I guess he wouldn't be a gentleman, but if your man is mistreating you, you have to think. Like, you still have to use your brain. You can't just love. You have to be more than that. You have to be a thinker. You have to compute things. You have to weigh and measure uh, what's right and wrong, and what you deserve. And if for whatever reason you don't take priority in your life's ambitions, then you'll always find yourself in an abusive situation. um, so you have to do what's best for you sometimes. And I don't know why it's hard, but it is. And I've been in situations where they weren't necessarily the most safe situation for me emotionally, and I knew that. uh, but I'm not one to stick around or open myself up to that type of vulnerability. And so eventually you have to love yourself more than you love the potential of that person to be better than they are. Sometimes, like I said, we let people hide behind their potential. And a guy can potentially be great, but if he's a shithead and he's always shown you that, You have to start believing that's what his potential is, just to be what he is. He is who he has always been to you. Stop holding on to what you wish, and start looking at the actual realities of things. But good luck with that. I did a video called "When to Move On." I'm not even sure. Yeah, when to move on, or something to that nature. It might be helpful to you. You might have already seen it. I don't know, but it can be extremely difficult to do the right thing for us. Wow. Okay, so I froze my comment section, and when I jump back into it, it's full. So let me try to get through some of these questions. I won't be on as long as I was last time. I think I was on like an hour and a half last time. I don't have that type of time today. The family's still moving around slowly, but eventually I'm gonna have to get off of here. I got some basement rental projects to finish up so I can get my YouTube studio back up. Let me see. What do you think of a side chick who didn't? What do you think of side chicks who didn't know they were side chicks once they knew, and they kept going with it? I think it's disgraceful. I think it's shameful. It's shameful for that gentleman, obviously, to start a situation with a woman that to start a situation with a woman that is based on a lie, and it's also shameful to start a situation or to finish a situation. Once a woman knows that she's in a triangle, she should respect herself enough and hopefully value herself enough to want better. More honesty from a person, and that should be a requirement from her. She should want someone who will give her the attention and the honor that she deserves. Uh, I don't understand side chicks because I have a certain amount of pride, I have a certain amount of dignity, and I'm sure there's some side chicks in this comment section. But I would say no offense, but you should be offended. Like, this thing that about shaming people say, you're this shaming and you're that shaming. And while sometimes people are harsh with people they don't understand, some people should be ashamed, and I feel like side chicks should be ashamed. And so that's how I feel about side chicks. If you continue that after you know better, you should do better. And I don't know, I don't really respect side chicks, and I know a lot of kids have been taken from parents, and a lot of very messy situations have happened as a result of a side chick that I don't know. And it's not the side chick; it's the guy. Clearly, it's the guy. But you are complicit, and you are definitely part of the problem. Side chicks. If these side chicks wasn't out here, these guys wouldn't have. They would have to be honest, and they wouldn't be honest. I guess it's not the side chicks' fault. I think of side chicks. I don't like them. I don't like cheaters. I don't like side chicks. Man, I'm long-winded today. I need to come up with shorter answers to these questions. Okay. What if you date a guy who treats you like a girlfriend for 3 years but doesn't want to commit? He enjoys relationship benefits. I broke it off. Did I do the right thing? Yeah, I think you did. I don't believe that if a guy won't give you a title or claim you, then you never really had him. Like sometimes people get themselves in these situations where they really care about somebody, but not enough to love them the way that most would require. And I suppose if your standards are being met, then it's okay. But if you want more, you're never given more, and you constantly settle for less, you get what you want. And so sometimes that's when the no contact rules come in. Hopefully you can get a change of behavior in that type of situation with doing no contact. That's what the hope is. Most of the time it doesn't work. You should do no contact when you are really planning on moving on, if you don't get the results you want, not just trying to manipulate the actions of somebody. So I hope that helps. But yeah, I wouldn't give the guy relationship benefits for 3 years. Put your life on hold, not meet someone who would value you more, and just keep doing that for the rest of your life. It's people that's been girlfriends for 18 years and they're upset that they don't have a ring. But if they put up with it for 18 years, they're not getting a ring, most likely. And so, you don't want to be that person. Don't sacrifice your life for your ambition to be with somebody if they're not going to be with you. Accept it eventually and move on. What type of woman do emotionally unavailable men go for, and what type of men do unavailable and what type of men do emotionally unavailable women go for? Um, Emotionally unavailable people in general usually go for people who don't require much. Uh, and that comes in, those people come in a lot of shapes and sizes. I know emotionally unavailable men usually will find a girl who for whatever reason either thinks she's too busy for a relationship. That's always very convenient to get somebody who's got so much going on that they don't require much of you emotionally. And who doesn't really care about building an emotional connection. I guess someone just like them. And then they also get very gullible, very naive people that they can play with their emotions, like people who would treat you like a girlfriend from now, every now and then for 3 years, and you're hoping eventually some commitment coming, and it just doesn't come. Someone emotionally unavailable like that would get someone who they find, no offense, weak enough uh, to manipulate in that way, who won't require much of them. So just, I guess, don't let yourself fall victim. I'm not sure. Like, I know guys, and I know a lot about relationships. Especially since I started doing this, I've learned a good deal. I'm no expert, but I've learned a good deal. But I don't ever claim to be an expert on women thought. I don't think women always even know what they want, and where their motivations lie. Um, Guys either, but having the perspective of a man, I can tell you all about where men are coming from a place, but I don't know what these women be doing. So you said, what type of men do emotionally unavailable women go for? They usually go for guys who will come and do favors for nothing. Guys who will give them rides when they want rides, guys who will give them money when they want money, guys who will give them um, sex when they want sex. They normally have maintenance men for every particular job that a man might do for his woman. That's what emotionally unavailable women generally do. But outside of that, I'm not sure what these women are doing, because I get emails that contradict everything you think you know about people all the time. Okay, LaShonda Jones says, I have a question. I'm sure you asked it like down the line, but ask it, LaShonda. I get with you. Uh, Crystal from Detroit, how you doing? Pulled away after 3 amazing dates without sex. No text or calls for 5 days. He finally texted me and said that he was sorry, and he just felt that he wasn't himself and needed to process. What is this? I don't know. Some people are complicated, and I'm not sure what that's about. But just be lucky that he pulled away after 3 amazing dates without sex. Uh, that way you don't feel as used as you would, or as discarded as you might had you had sex with a gentleman and he got flaky after that. Um, a lot of times when guys do that, it's because they have deep emotional connections with maybe another woman, and they don't necessarily feel like they're ready to commit themselves to the process of moving on. And some men are good enough that they won't use you for sex before they make that decision. And so just respect the fact that he didn't take anything from you, and figure out what he means when he says he needs to process. Um, and if he's processed it, you just have to have a conversation to find out what was his, where was he at? What part of the process, what type of process are you being involved in? But I can respect his decision because he never used you. He just kind of separated himself. Um, you just need more transparency from him in the future if you're going to continue that relationship. Good morning, Kev. Call interrupted when I first came up, and I was interrupted. Okay, so she's just catching up. How you doing, Knee Harris? I can see Kev having many female friends before marriage, but can't see him dating multiple people. Yeah, Latoya, I had a lot of female friends before I got married, but I've never been the type of guy that again dates multiple people, because I just don't have the energy for it. I don't have the patience for it emotionally. I don't have the energy for it. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I'm a hard introvert. I like my peace. I like my quiet. I don't want no drama at all. And it's just too much work dating multiple people. And again, I've never been like, for lack of a better term, a sex slayer. Like, I've never been the type of guy that goes around and just and slays a bunch of women, knocks them down. That's not me. That's not how I function. So I wouldn't need to date multiple women because I'm not trying to lay down multiple women. I've never been that type of guy. Um, so emotionally, it's very difficult to connect yourself to multiple women. And I've always established the emotional connections before I got intimate with a woman for the most part. And so that's why dating multiple people was always a harder thought process for me because I couldn't imagine myself putting the work in and the emotional time in to do it to multiple people at once. I only have so many hours in the day. I'm be on the phone with a girl for hours and hours. I'm gonna be in her presence for hours. They're just the days aren't long enough for me to date multiple people. What's your zodiac sign? Somebody said Libra. Yeah, I'm a Libra. I'm an introvert as well. He's a Libra. Why does my crush keep greeting me with hugs? Hello, everyone. Why does my crush keep greeting me with hugs? Hello, everyone. He sees me and he stares at me from afar, but doesn't want to date me. Well, you don't know. I've had crushes on girls that I didn't want to date before because I thought they were dangerous for me. I felt like they were a little bit more reckless than I could handle in a relationship. There are a lot of things that could be. So I would have to know you a little bit more. I would have to know your situation a little bit closer. But yeah, that could be any number of things. Too broad a spectrum for me to answer right here. Also, before I get to AB's question, if you send me a question via email, I'm going to start responding to emails again very soon. I haven't been responding for about a month and a half, but I will start responding to emails again very soon after this project in my basement is done. Please, please, please keep your email under 500 words. I've gotten 8-page letters from many from many people. Like I've gotten 8 and 9 page letters from people, and while I'm considerate enough to read them, I shouldn't have to. Other people want questions answered, and it's part of the reason why I stopped answering questions because it just became too much emotionally for me to read somebody's backstory, their life story, and then try to get to the root of what was going on. So let's try to shorten these questions up in my email. Let's do 500 words or less, and I think that's plenty. Uh, you know. So anyway, back to AB's question: why do some women have interest in married men or ones that have someone already? That's crazy. I think that emotionally unavailable women, like that question earlier, are generally interested in men who already have another commitment, who really can't bog them down emotionally or physically. Like the responsibilities of a person that is dealing with you in particular, will differ from somebody who has something else to focus on. If I'm a married man and I'm stepping out on my wife, all I can do is the few hours or the few minutes with the woman who sees me as a good target, because she's emotionally unavailable. I'm not going to be calling her every day. I'm not going to be showing up at her job. I'm not going to be texting her all the time. I'm not going to be acting like my feelings are hurt. I'm not going to have the same. I'm not going to have the same level of maintenance that a man who's looking for a relationship from a woman might have. So emotionally unavailable women are just looking for freedom and mobility and convenience, and that's it. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Um, when a man is using. How do you know when a man is using you for what you have or sex? I've done a good amount of videos about, I suppose, when to consider having sex, but if a man is using you for just sex when you have to have sex every time you interact with them, or at least every other time. Some men are patient, so they'll play a longer game with you. But for the most part, if you end up having sex with a guy, or you're pressured to have sex with a guy every time you try to spend time with him or get some kind of investment out of him, he's probably using you for sex. Especially if he won't give you a title, he won't give you a commitment. He tells you he's not ready for a relationship, but you always end up around him and y'all always having sex. That's your purpose. You found your purpose. Um, Arena Reset. What up, Kev? Finally watching the feed. Okay, let me see. Somebody might have said something. I'd rather be single. I'm not gonna settle to be someone's quick place for. Okay, that's okay. I can show that, but hold on. Let me look at this. Okay. Somebody said, Kev, why can't guys say goodbye? Why do they cut off all contact without warning or explanation? Warning or explanation. It feels rude and hurtful. Why do so many men do that? How are they able to do that? That's not necessarily a question for just men. Most people avoid conflict. So it's easier to cut off contact than have the conversation, the very difficult conversation of I don't necessarily want you in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we've all in some way just went ghost on someone or cold turkey just dropped a situation. Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a family member. Sometimes you just don't have room for somebody in your life, and it's very difficult to sit somebody down and say, hey man, I just don't think you're good for me, and I don't want to be friends or I don't want to be with you. I think in all of my dating years, I've had, and I don't know, I don't even, out of dozens and dozens and dozens of situations through my dating years, I think I had like two women actually have a conversation with me about, why they didn't think we should continue being in contact. It's just not something that people do. I've ghosted people. It's easier. I'm not a perfect person. It's easier than rejecting someone, um, like on a really personal, intimate level. You know, saying goodbye is saying you're not good enough in some ways, and no one really wants to be the person to break someone like that, even when they're savages. All these savages running around here, all these players are running around here. These are people you assume or attribute a certain heartlessness to, but they still avoid they still avoid the conflict. They still avoid the conversation of I'm sorry, I'm hurting you, and I don't know what to do about it. Most people won't do that. Most people will tap dance around the truth or just disappear from your life. That's the nature of people. That's not a guy thing. I've been ghosted. Most girls who found me unsuitable for whatever reason, especially while I was learning, myself and learning how I relate to women when I was much younger. Most women just disappeared, stop answering the phone, or stop coming around, or became very unavailable. They didn't have a conversation with me, and that's just people. And because you're a woman and that's your perspective, it looks like it's guys, but that's just people. Jobs do it. They don't call you back after an interview. They don't call you and say, hey, we didn't like you. You didn't get the job. They just never call you. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time, that's a people thing. I'm sorry about that, but it is rude. It is hurtful. But it's life. So I apologize, Ripley, but that'll happen a lot. Um, Jackie C says, so I've been dating a guy for 2 years. I told him that I want to be more than just being single and dating. We became exclusive 6 months ago. Oh, I thought that was a question. Hey, well, congratulations, Jackie C. You had that conversation and it paid off for you. Trisha J. Yo, Trisha, I appreciate all the love you be giving me on Instagram. You always be showing love, and you always here. So thank you, Trisha. I be paying attention. I think I follow you back, Trisha. Didn't I follow you back on Instagram? Yeah, I followed you. Okay, Trisha said, my first love went out of his way to reach me after 31 years. He apologized for the past, but keeps asking me if I still have feelings for him. He's engaged. What is he up to? Uh, well, if you've been dealing with if you've been dealing with him or you've known him for that long, I'm not sure if there was a 31-year hiatus between you're having contact, but uh, people always wonder what if, and the question of what if is one of the most haunting questions that you'll probably have in your life. People wonder what if I did this better? What if I it's related to the shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Maybe he feels like he missed out on something with you, and he's willing to risk it all to figure that out. But at the same time, I would hate to be the woman he's engaged with, uh, while he's having these nostalgic feelings about what he might have missed with you, because it could be another you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he's encountered other women in these 31 years that could possibly have that a similar effect, not the same effect, but a similar effect. And so, uh, if he's apologizing for the past now and um, he's trying to rekindle stuff now while he's engaged, that should be a red flag because there's a woman who thinks that their relationship is heating up, their relationship is going somewhere, they're in an accelerated place, and instead he's reaching back. So that could be you. I would just be very, very careful and make sure that he's at least respecting his spouse enough not to try to escalate things with you. Because again, if you're his woman, eventually those same type of habits, the same character that he has with that girl, he has with you. You know, I've loved multiple women at a time. Or not loved. I was pretty multiple women at a time. I always made sure to keep the interactions very, very, for lack of a better term, professional, because I didn't want the woman that I really wanted to think that if she gave me what I wanted, then she would be at a risk of being treated like the woman I was with. Like I wanted to be who she thought I was, which was a good man. And, for that reason, I held back. And, you can make it obvious that you're holding back. It's ways to seduce people without being inappropriate. But I feel like if you're having those types of interactions with him, he's not necessarily respecting his fiance at the moment. God, there's a lot of questions in here. I'm so behind. That's why these are just chit chats, man. I wish I could get to every question. Uh, I lost my spot. Yeah, I wish I could get to every question, but I can't. Um, I might be able to get to some. Let me see. How do you know when I already did that? Did that. Hold on. Okay, Jackie says now he's back and forth between being super distant and trying to appease me, so I'm upset by his lack of time in me, like it's a lack of time for me. Jackie, see, uh, when a guy's playing hot and cold, you have to decide, if you want to put up with that. But you know, never take shit and then complain about it. If you're going to, and not you, not this is not a to you in particular, Jackie C, but the idea of putting up with shit and then being upset about it, it confuses me because you can just refuse to put up with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really frustrating when you wanted something and you thought something had potential, but once you figure out the potential isn't there, or the the qualities don't live in that person. You have to decide if you still want to be with that person or you still want to pursue it. Now if you're gonna take, being with a guy for 3 years. Oh, thank you. Somebody gave me a super chat. I forgot super chat was a thing. That's my first super chat ever. Let me see. Did I click on it? Thanks for the advice. Thank you. The €5 super chat. I appreciate that. Who did that? Lisa Jade. I appreciate you, Lisa Jade. Thank you. But yeah, so I would, if he's acting distant and he's going back and forth, uh, either put up with it or don't. Whoa. Somebody just gave me a super chat, a $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Charles, Nada J. I don't know. I think Nada J. Charles. I really apologize if I'm killing your name. She says, should you still communicate with your ex? If your ex, is a person who you still find value in, yeah, maybe. That's one of those. That's one of those really rough. Oh, my wife is texting me. That's one of those really rough situations. If your ex is a great person, then you should absolutely keep in contact with them if they're not harming you. If they don't present an emotional, if they don't present an emotional, if they don't present an emotional danger to you. If your ex is a person who presents an emotional danger to you, then you should probably stay away from them. And if your ex is a person who's dealing with someone else, you should probably stay away from them. But like I have exes. Somebody is my ex. I'm a great person. Not to kiss my own ass, but I'm all right, right? Now I wouldn't do that because I'm married. But let's say I'm not married. I'm the type of person that you can be friends with forever. So if you have an ex that's an amazing person, yes, you can keep in contact with them. But if you're having trouble processing the loss of the relationship, then you probably should keep your distance until you've made peace with that. Not a J. Charles. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your first name. Okay. Let me see. Nah, I've lost my spot. Did I get to? I think I said. I think I got your whole question answered, didn't I? I love you in this channel. Thank you. You are really genuine. Love your advice. Thank you. You gave me some. I appreciate you. Again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, yes, you can make donations. The super chat is a thing where people basically, I guess, make donations to YouTubers, or they pay to have their comments stick out for a longer period of time so that they're not missed in the comment section. I don't require it. I would never ask for it, but it's greatly appreciated, and it does help my household. People say it helps the channel. It helps my household, so I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Um, Good gracious, she dropped a 20, a 5, and a 2. Don't go broke in here, not a J. But I appreciate you. Like I said, I absolutely think you're fantastic for that. Let me try to get back to where I was. I missed my little spot. The super chats come up, and they are the priority questions for obvious reasons. Ripley says, "Man, I might have missed a question from you, Ripley. Last time I did a live." She says, "This guy would be texting me all day and night. He had become like a best friend, but now I know that's part of the game." Yes, sometimes Ripley 1156, a guy will put in a lot of time. It will look like he really cares about you, but if he's dating multiple women and all he's doing is putting you on his phone schedule, then I don't know. Some men are patient. I've seen men wait months, while dating multiple women to have sex with the girl only to never talk to her again. And it can be extremely hurtful for that girl, but also confusing because I've watched guys like talk to a girl for like 6 months. You're like, man, you really like that girl? Nah, man, just what the hell do you mean? Like, so do the best you can to figure out what a guy's intentions are by judging the content of his conversation, because guys know how to pace themselves with women because there are multiple women. Even like when I was in high school and I would talk to multiple women at a time, not emotionally invested myself, but just I would talk to multiple women. When you're trying to figure out who you're going to date, right? You might have 4 or 5 girls or 4 or 5 men, in your case, that you might be talking to. It doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to, manipulate them. You're just trying to figure out or filter who you're talking to. You would know a girl for a year or even 2 years, and you'd be talking on and off, but you really never did anything. You never really committed yourselves to each other, but you were just getting to know each other on and off for a few years. People do that. People still get in situations where they don't necessarily make a person feel used, but they keep them around enough to where one day you feel comfortable enough to give yourself to him. And when that happens, because you really never knew him, you never really meant anything to him, he can go away and never come back again. So just be very, very careful, because some guys can appear affectionate, they can appear sweet, and they can still be playing you. Yeah, a lot of guys tell you exactly what they want, what they think you want to hear, and so you have to be very, very careful to match a person's actions up with their words. Well, Sugar said, Ripley, I came to the conclusion that men are just crazy. Yeah, trust me, from experience, women are as crazy as men. Most of the things that I get emails about are things that women complain about. Like most of the things women complain about to me in my emails, are basically the same things that I've talked to guys about, the same things I've experienced from women. Most of this dating stuff is universal advice. It's psychology at the end of the day. At the end of the day, and so it's funny listening to women sometimes complain about the habits of men because we're more similar than we are different. It just the packaging of our emotions is different as guys. Um, the tactics might change, but the intents are the same. It's all basic human psychology. And so, uh, let me see. I'm trying to find another question. I got like a lot of questions and I missed a lot too. So, and if I missed your question, I apologize. I got a lot. I got a lot going on here. Uh, and I don't want to keep answering one person's question. I did that before. I answered one person's question and then another person never got talked to. So, uh, gorgeous. Somebody's talking about missing. Okay. I'm having a good day. Conversation. What's the email? The email is kevhicktalksguyswithgirls@gmail.com. Again, I will start answering emails again probably this week, but I just haven't been over the last like month and a half. I've been very very busy with some home improvement projects. That's why I've only put out like one video every 2 weeks. Like I got a job, I got another job, I got 2 kids, I got a wife. Sometimes I get a little bit busy, and I'm only a part-time YouTuber. I'd like to go full-time, but now that's not the case. Somebody says, Jesse says, you've been down for a while too, Jesse. What's up? She says, my crush is scared of my mom. How can I get him off of that zone? Off that zone. He comes every day to my house, but is scared of her. I would. Is your mom particularly intimidating, Jesse? I think the thing with a person who seems intimidated by someone who loves you, uh, to me, I would be a little bit weary. Not that he's not trustworthy, not that he's not a good person or a good guy. He doesn't have good intentions, but I've never been scared of a woman's mama or her dad because my intentions were pure. And I feel like your intentions will always shine through. People will feel something about you and not understand why they feel that way. Um, Even if they don't know you. And so if he's afraid of your mom, maybe he's afraid she might pick up on something. And so for that reason alone, I would make sure I really watched him closely, or, at least never submitted myself to anything before I could really trust him. Because I've never been afraid of anybody's mom or brother. And the guys that I know that are afraid of parents or protectors or friends are usually hiding something. Not that he is. I'm not trying to accuse him. I'm just saying uh, he should have a reason to believe in himself. And if he doesn't, then he may be up to something different, or he may not trust himself, and he's hoping that your mom doesn't pick up on that. So maybe that. But I would hope that he's just afraid of your mom because she's just an intimidating person. That could always be the case too. I met some dads that were pretty intimidating, but again, I knew where I was. I knew my plans with their daughter weren't bad, so I wasn't intimidated. But I can see how somebody could be scared of those people. Ladies, are military men nuts or what? I ain't got nothing to do with that one. Okay, somebody said, hi, I'm an Aries female and he's a Libra. We bump heads a lot. Why are you Libra man so moody? I don't know why he moody. I don't know. I'd have to ask my wife if I'm moody. I think I could be moody though. I think I'm moody when I don't get enough personal space. And that's the bottom line. If I don't get no meditation time as a Libra, if I don't get no meditation time, or I don't get enough personal space, enough time to be alone with my thoughts, then I become moody. I need the quiet. Like some people love music and they listen to music all the time. I need the quiet. I need to be alone with my thoughts. And so sometimes, as maybe that's a Libra thing, or maybe that's just a me thing. But besides that, I don't know. I don't know why he's so moody. I went on a date. Somebody said, Madeline. I'm not gonna try to do the last name, but I appreciate your question. Said Madeline. I went on a date, and one time we didn't go out. one time and didn't go out with him again. No, I hear that he says that he likes me a lot. Hurt from my brother lives on his block. Okay, I need you to rephrase your question, Madeline. I'm a little confused. It was what the question is, but rephrase the question, and I will try to find it in the comment section. I'll try not to miss it. She said, "My mom is a scary person." Well, if your mom is scary, Jesse, then that's probably why. Some people are easily intimidated. Uh, that would just make me. I would worry about his masculinity if he's intimidated by your mom. I just that's another thing. I've never been intimidated by somebody because I have a certain amount of masculinity, of pride, of toughness. And so if he's lacking that, that's something else that might be of concern, but for other reasons, obviously. Um, Let me see conversations. What can you say to your long distance boyfriend without being rude? That phone sex is getting old all the time. Uh, I've been trying to go see him in person, but he claims he's always working. Okay, so a young woman is not Miss Rain W is not satisfied with the phone sex. She needs probably real sex and some personal time with the gentleman. And he claims he's always working. I don't know. I'm not sure how long you've been away from him, Miss Rain, but if the gentleman is not making a priority out of seeing you and giving you the thing that you need, then you have to have some kind of conversation, and you might have to be rude. Your question is without being rude. If he's not making a priority out of keeping you happy, then you might have to be rude. Not I don't say he's not loving you or anything like that. I just if he's not doing what you need to find fulfillment in this long distance relationship, which is a hard enough situation to keep up as it is, you might have to be a bit rude. He has to know that these things are required. They're not options. Uh, and even if you're not rude, you still have to have the difficult conversation. So if phone sex isn't enough, you have to have that conversation. And sometimes you might have to be rude. Sorry. Ripley said, Are you answering my question? Great. Uh, no, it's not a guy thing. Interested to know. Okay, I don't know what Ripley talking about. We'll get back. Okay, so let me get on another question. Hi, Kev. Can you please advise why my crush hugs me, says hello, stares at me from afar, uh, after has deep conversation, but he told my friends he likes me, but not to date me. Okay, I think so. You might have rephrased the question from earlier. Um, a guy who's telling your friends that he likes you, he's not making any efforts to date you. It's just nervous. He's nervous. He doesn't know if you're a threat to him. He doesn't want to be humiliated. He does. Some guys just don't know how to talk to women. They don't know how to approach relationships. It's not. I don't know. Like a lot of times, women think because a man's not approaching them, that it's in some way indicative of him not having feelings. And most of the time, people are run by fear. Even guys, most guys, if they're not savages or if they're not players, have difficulty expressing their feelings to women or for women or approaching them. Sometimes, if you have more heart than he has, you might want to be one to take the first step or at least make him feel more welcome. A lot of times, uh, steering his deep conversations, if he's having these deep personal conversations with, try to steer them toward, your dating life. I think sometimes you can get into an intimate enough place with someone when you're having a deep conversation with them that they feel comfortable expressing their feelings towards you. But it has to be prefaced by you maybe inviting them to share their feelings. And there's some psychological, things that you could employ there. But and I'm no psychologist, but there are ways to manipulate the truth out of someone. If you look at somebody suggested this book, and I think I did it on the last live, and I've been rereading this book, The Art of Seduction, and audio booking when I don't have time to sit down and read crap. But The Art of Seduction is a really cool book because it kind of shows you how to manipulate the feelings out of somebody. Um, it kind of works, So I think Robert Greene wrote it. Somebody, I said Jeff Green the last time. But all of you guys, if you're interested in the dynamic between men and women, trying to improve the way that you present your emotions. The Art of Seduction is an interesting audiobook, very interesting audiobook, but it's also a decent read if you have a good attention span. Um, Somebody say also, are they talking to each other? Cool, cool. Thanks for answering my question, Hugs. Yeah, no problem, Ripley. Anytime, anytime. Hello from Washington, D.C. Hello. I'm in the DMV too. Y'all doing y'all thing, y'all talking. Okay. How do you decide you should still communicate? How do you decide if you should still communicate with your ex? I think I answered this earlier, but um, uh, how do you decide? I guess you got to ask yourself these questions. Is my ex toxic for me? Is he dangerous for me? Have I made peace with him being my ex? Can I just be friends with him and still have emotional peace and stability? Um, does he have a new situation? Am I interrupting something? Is he a man of character? Is he gentle with me? Um, can he be my friend? Is he capable of just being friends? Those are the things that you want to consider if you want to keep contact with your ex and just be friends. If your hope is to get back together with your ex, then that's a whole different story. And I have a video. Yeah, I have a video. It was one of my early videos when I had like under 20 videos. It was like, some about should I get back with my ex, or I did a video about exes a long time ago. It's like, should I get back with my ex? You should watch that video. I broke down a lot of things that you should consider if that's the route you're going. So watch that video, and if that video isn't concluding enough for you, in the comment section of that video, leave me a comment. I still check all my comments. I've been a little slow this week because I've been renovating, but I will get back to everybody's comment. I always hit the comment section, but just don't leave no super, super, super long comment because it puts me in a bad position. Okay, why? Why? Oh, super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yasmin Harding, I got that one. That was easy enough to pronounce. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yasmin Harding said, I've never been on a date. I have 2 kids. Now I'm shy. I'm scared of dating. I'm 33 years old. Any help? My friend says, date ugly folks and don't want to lower. So you're 33, you have 2 kids, you've never been on a date. Your friends say date ugly folks. I'm presuming because it's easier for you to, I guess, muster the courage if you don't really like somebody. And she said, but she don't want to lower her standards. No. Yasmin, I don't approve of lowering your standards. People like what they like, and being in an unfulfilled relationship can be as bad as being in no relationship. So don't lower your standards. And I'm not sure why you've never been on a date. If you've never been on a date because you've never accepted a date, like some people who write me, then you might want to start just being more malleable and, being more outgoing. If you've never been on a date because you feel rejected by men somehow, then, that's a whole nother realm. And that question, the answer to that question would be very much different. But as far as what your friends say, I get the premise of what they're saying. Date ugly folks because you're obviously not going to be as afraid of them. And I can't say that that's inherently, absolutely wrong. I think when I was 17, the way that I would get myself in the mood to approach women at the mall was I would approach women that I cared a lot less about the answer to the questions that I would ask them. If I was going to ask for a girl's number at the mall, I would prepare myself for rejection in a way that I would just start asking girls who I really didn't want the numbers, but I would ask for the numbers anyway. It's not a good thing. It wasn't nice. I was 17, but we were hounds. But at the same time, I understand where your friends are coming from talking about dating ugly folks. But what if you end up in an unfulfilled relationship because you lowered your standards? Never lower your standards. You have the right idea. You want what you want. You like what you like. The heart desires what it does. But you might want to be more aggressive about pursuing a relationship. Sometimes doing nothing all the time, doing nothing is the wrong answer to your problems. And waiting on anything, fate, God, the universe, luck, there's never a perfect time. So be more aggressive about what you want out of life and out of relationships. You have 2 kids, so you clearly attract men. You got a situation. But with 2 kids, men are more cautious about approaching you. You come with a little bit more responsibility, so you might have to be more upfront about what you want from a relationship, and more aggressive about pursuing men because they might not be as aggressive with you, considering your two kids, and that just be out of respect for you, your children's father and things of that nature. So don't lower your standards. And next time you talk to a guy, if you've never been on a date and you had two kids, make sure a date is required before the sex. I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but if you've never been on a date but you got two kids, you're doing things backwards. So do your best to flip the order of things. Make a man wine dine you, court you a little bit more before the sex part. And I don't know, maybe you're in a long relationship where the guy just didn't take you out, but make dates a requirement, and you'll have your date. Okay, now I don't even know where I'm at right now. Okay, this is the bottom. Cool. Okay. Why does long distance ex not want to do the long distance relationship with me anymore? But broke my heart and still wants to stay in touch and call me weekly and send photos. I think Jamily, men have emotional needs as well. And a lot of times, an ex, even a long distance ex, might need the connection or need the closeness from a relationship, whether that be a long distance relationship or an in person relationship, but they don't want the responsibility. But men still need emotional needs. I always, even when I was single, when I was young in high school, I always had women that I would talk to on the phone that kind of fill the void, the connectional void. I don't want to. Guys just don't want to talk to a bunch of dudes, right? And guys want to have some kind of feelings toward the people they keep in contact with. You don't talk to people who bore you and who you're disinterested in. Sometimes when a guy hasn't moved on or hasn't replaced you, as far as the connection that you had, or your spot, the feminine interaction, when he hasn't replaced your feminine interaction, then he'll continue to want to send photos, keep contact, but he still doesn't want the responsibility of a relationship. It's because you serve a purpose in his life, and it's an emotional purpose. It's a connection purpose. It's the exploration of femininity. It's an abstract idea, but people have their needs, and even guys need things emotionally that they can only get from women. So as long as he's not getting it from someone else, he's got to get from you. But it doesn't mean he wants you. It just means you're feeling a need right now. And if you want to be that person, that's cool. If you don't want to be used for that, then you might want to create some distance. Am I wrong for asking the guy when's the last time he had sex, especially if we're just starting to date? No. I think that Pamela Esters, I think that it's irresponsible not to know the status of the person that you're just starting to date, especially if you plan on having sex with them. This is the problem with people now. It's like no one wants to have that conversation because it's awkward or it's a boner killer, but you have to have, you know, we have an article on girltalkwithguys.com. I think my wife actually wrote this article. She writes some of the articles too. This it was called the STD talk, right? And it's not meant to be entertaining. It's just meant to be a warning. Uh, you know, you have to know the status of your partner. Why put yourself at risk with a person you don't know? They could be out here having sex with all kinds of people. You need to know when they last had sex, or at least not when, but who or how active. Give me a ballpark. How many people are you sleeping with, at the moment? You should always know that stuff. And if you care about your safety, that should be a priority. Yes, it's not the most attractive conversation. It puts a little bit of pressure on the person to be upfront about things that they might be insecure about. But at the same time, no, it's not wrong for asking a guy when's the last time he had sex. You should probably know that if you plan on giving him sex. And if you're just starting to date, you should know the status of your partner, and you should probably begin tested. But people don't want to do that. So it's a difficult conversation, but it's necessary, and you're not wrong, Pamela. Um, Hell no, you're not wrong. Okay. Kev, I get guys to put me exclusive. Is it bad not to like dates? No, sometimes if you don't want to go out on a date or you don't like that interaction, it's not bad, Jesse Medium. It's not bad at all. It's about what you want, and if he's comfortable giving you what you want. As long as you're providing the things that make him comfortable. Um, Needs erasers. Okay. Nope. Nature Girl 121 says, uh, when does a man go from I to we? Signs of thinking in we mind state versus I mind state. My ex says he wants us to be a family, but I don't feel he does things for us, but instead what he feels like. I think that that's a very, very good question, and it depends it differs from guy to guy, uh, and I'm not sure what motivates your ex, but usually after a couple of months, a guy starts going from I to we. At least that's my timeline. But some guys are a lot slower than me, a lot slower. So it would depend on the level of intimacy establishing your relationship, especially um, so that's a very, very hard question to ask without knowing the specifics of the situation. But usually it takes a few months and a lot of interactions and in some way, some kind of emotional connection established. Um, so leave me a comment section in one of my videos and I'll get to it before an email and I'll try to explain it more if you have a more particular question. Girl. And Nature Girl dropped another one. She says, oh damn, I didn't even see did you shoot. Thank you, Nature Girl, for the super chat. I didn't even know that you super chatted me. I was just answering your question. So I mean, thank you. She, but yeah, if a man's actions, Nature Girl, are only seeming like they benefit him, then he hasn't gone to we yet. Like my actions, I have a family. My actions are always about what is best for my family, and that's the first consideration I make. And it's mostly obvious, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the ideas are more abstract, but my wife can see it, and eventually, when my sons are old enough, they'll be able to trace everything I've ever done, back to them. Back to the motivation to take care of them, to put them in a better position. If you can't trace his actions back to a need to protect you or to provide for you or to care for you in some way or to honor you, then he hasn't gone to we yet. Um, there should be a line, a trail of breadcrumbs, if you will, that you can follow for a man's actions. If a man's actions are only self-serving, then he hasn't gone from I to we yet. And I'm not sure what his timeline is, and I'm not sure how long you've been with him, how long you've been dealing with him, but always judge a man's actions over his words. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking for another question. How to get a guy to take you on a date if he's not willing to meet in public place when you are getting to know each other. If a guy's not willing to meet in a public place when you're getting to know each other, I'd have to ask you the same question I asked somebody earlier, which is, why haven't you met in a public place? Like, have you met the guy at all? Or is this an internet situation where you haven't met him in person yet and you're hoping to meet in a public place? If you have to meet a guy in a public place and that's how you word it, it sounds as if you haven't met him yet and it's just an internet fling or, something that you haven't, like you said, you haven't seen him in person. So a guy's not going to take you on a date if he's afraid to meet you in a public place. And you never want to meet a person for the first time in private. Especially as a woman, you always want to be in a safe place. You always want to be around people. Never, ever, ever meet a guy who says he's too nervous to meet you in public, to meet him at his house. Never show up in any back rows. Like, you always want to make sure that you see people in front of people, especially as a woman in this day and age, because these guys out here are doing whatever to these women, and the sex trafficking rings are changing their tactics. And so women are coming up and disappearing shit all the time. So I'm not sure what his deal is, but he might be catfishing you if he won't meet you in public. Or at all. But just always protect yourself. That has to be your first priority, is your safety until you meet a guy and feel his energy and realize, whether or not he's safe. Sue B said he's always trying to get between my conversations with my other guy friends. If a guy is always trying to interrupt your conversations with your guy friends, it's because he wants to be the most important guy around. And the only way to do that is to cock block or cut your conversations short with other guys or interrupt those relationships somehow without being too obvious. He might not want to put himself out there, but he's definitely having some feelings. Pamela Esther said, thank you, Kev. Exactly what I thought. Friends were telling me I was wrong for that. No, you're not wrong for that. You don't change your standards, because you got to live with that. Your kids got to live with that. I mean, why the hell would you? I believe Pep, you were the one that you had never been on a date, and you had the kids, and your friends told you to date ugly guys. If you have never been on a date, and you looking for a man, and you have kids, your standards have to be stronger than a woman who has nothing to lose because you have children. I'm probably gonna do a video soon about dating with children because there's a lot of fuckery going on about these women with these men. They just date any damn body and they don't even consider their kids, and it's just ridiculous. And so, no, never change it, never lower your standards. And if you have kids, your standards should probably be a lot higher than the average woman because you're not the only one affected by the man you bring home. This is coming from a guy who had a single mother. So there were good ones, there were shitty ones. So you want to make sure that you maintain the respect of your kids by making good decisions with men, and that you protect them with your decisions that you make with men. And I'll make a video all about that, probably sooner than later. I'll start doing videos every week again pretty soon. I don't know. But yeah, you want to be careful and just protect yourself first. Carmikia White says, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. Why do guys that have a girlfriend try to have friendships on the side when they're already in a relationship? It doesn't make sense to me, and I find out later that he is occupied. Guys who try to be friends with girls are lining up either the next prospect or they're trying to butter a woman up to be a side girl or a side chick. Like, I'm not looking for new friends. I don't build new friendships with women. Like, clearly I'm in the business of people. So I have communications and I'm cool with a lot of people, but I'm not looking for like new friends. Like, if I meet a new person shows up at work, I'm not like, oh man, you so cool, man, we could be friends. Let me get your number. We chopping it up. I ain't got no. Like, so if a guy's in a relationship and he's building new relationships with women, it's because he's either lining up the rest of his team, or he's looking for an opportunity to cheat, and he's measuring your propensity to be a side chick. So don't feel insulted. Just don't do it. Don't go along with it. Let me see. Okay, she said, no man would not go out in public on dates. He wants to come to my mom's house or vice versa to meet. Now, if a gentleman is talking to you, Bear Ant, if a guy's talking to you and he doesn't want to go out in public to meet, but he wants to come to your house or you come to his house to meet, will there be other people? I don't believe in meeting a man in a private space by yourself for the first time. It's just not a smart idea. It's many women that's been put in freezers because they thought that, oh, he seems cool, And when Facebook first got popping, there was a bunch of Facebook murders, and look, it's not a good idea to just meet somebody if you don't know who they are, even if you've talked to them. So y'all need to come up with a better scenario, a safer scenario for you. Or you can meet them with multiple people, maybe a double date or something like that if you want to do the house thing. But never just go to some guy's house and let a guy come to your house and you don't know who the hell he is. Oh wow, no side chicks, thanks, Kev. Yeah, I'm not really into the side chick thing. A lot of side chicks. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to help anybody cheat on their husband or take somebody else's husband. Y'all wouldn't believe how many emails I get from women trying to get me to help them steal somebody else's man. The shit's insane, and it happens more often than you would think. Please don't write me asking me to help you figure out what a man who's married is thinking. I'm not helping you at all. I'm just going to tell you how horrible you are being right now. I'm just going to let you know that you need to have more respect for yourself and that woman or them kids. I'm not helping you slide in nobody's DMs. I'm not helping you ruin nobody's marriage with them. And I know the side chicks, it's obviously not their fault, but it's obviously not a side chick's fault that a guy's willing to do that, but I'm definitely not helping somebody ruin a relationship or a happy home or start something that I know is emotionally detrimental. I'm just not going to do that. It's irresponsible, and it's not the thing that it's not something I'm going to do. Ashley Shown. I've been dating a guy for 2 months, but he still feels obligated to help his ex when she calls. Does that mean he still has feelings for her? Most likely. Most likely. And thanks for the super chat, Ashley Shown. But most likely, yeah. If you're dating a guy and he's still jumping at every call that his ex makes, then he not only still cares about her, but he's still protecting her. And while that never goes away, like okay, if I see my ex at Walmart, and, some guy was roughing her up, yeah, I'd fight for her because I know her; she's a great person. But if she calls me and she needs a ride to Walmart, I'm not taking her no damn where. You know what I'm saying? So like if a guy's still protecting his ex and still trying to provide for his ex, and still involving himself with all of her day-to-day business, he's definitely still into her, and he's stuck between he's probably loving two women at the time. He loves you, he loves her, and eventually it'll get messy. So if he's not creating distance, eventually it will get messy. Ashley Shown, and thanks for the super chat, $4.99. Rounded that up. I'm just playing. I know Ashley Shown. I'm playing with Ashley Shown. She's trying to be funny. Okay. So she said, okay, so Lady B said, you skipped over what I said, but it's cool. Okay, Lady B, I think Lady B, 1986. I'm at the end of my questions. So ask your question right now and I'll see it. Copy and paste the comment that you had and I'll see it. Lady B said you skipped over what I said, but it's cool. It's not cool, but it's got like I do that because I can't see all of the questions, the comments. They move so fast and they jump around, and I keep losing my place. I've probably missed 20 questions because I keep losing my place. So type what you said the first time, Lady B, and I will definitely answer your question. But put like some symbols or some stars in front of it so I know it's not a conversation between other people because I'm getting confused. I'm watching people talk to each other and then y'all talking to me. Put like some 4 or 5 stars so it stands out as a question. Lady B. Okay, yeah, she's Subi says people are crazy for trying to steal other people's lovers. Yeah, I get questions about that all the time, and I just don't support it. No man I've chatted with is willing. How do I get them to be willing to go out? Do I wait forever? No, you don't wait forever. But I'm wondering why these men where are you finding these men who won't meet you? The whole point of meeting someone and dating someone on the phone or on the internet is to ultimately meet them. If you're meeting people who won't meet you, it's because they're not who they say they are. They're not what they present. So you don't want to push them because you're going to be disappointed when you finally do meet them. Just find somebody else. And there's 7 billion people in the world. There is somebody else. And no, you don't wait forever. Miss Perfectly Imperfect. No. Yeah, Miss Perfectly Imperfect. And you've been with me for a while. I'm glad you're still watching. Hey, how can I'm sure you mean get over the disappointment of a failed getting to know you or relationship. I stopped talking to a guy friend a few months ago and still think about him daily. I guess it would depend on why you stopped talking to him, Miss Perfectly Imperfect. If you feel like for whatever reason, I don't, and again, I would have to know why the situation failed. Did he just disappear, or did something happen? Did you exit the situation, or did he exit the situation? I'm not sure you can get over the disappointment. Some disappointments last forever. They just do. Especially when you're thinking about who somebody could have been to you, or what could have came of a situation. Sometimes you don't get over people as easily as we would hope, because the heart wants what the heart wants. You clearly don't have closure, and I'm hoping that you've had at least a last conversation with that person. But there's really no right answer for that. There's not always an answer for things in life. To really attain peace, some form of peace, you have to learn to accept the gray areas in life, and relationships are the giant, big magnormous. That's a new word. I just made it up. It's just a giant ass gray area. It's ambiguous emotionally, and there's not always a black and white answer. There's not always a right and wrong, and I hope that you can find peace, but maybe there's still something there that you need to explore before you can. So get closure, have a last conversation, maybe get some answers about why things failed, so you can move on at least with more knowledge than you had before, and hopefully to avoid whatever pitfalls that that relationship had. Sorry to hear that though, but that can be tough. Um, I'm looking for Lady B. Okay, Lady B, thank you. You asked the question again. I'm gonna go back up. Okay, Lady B said, "What does it mean when a guy covers your eyes whenever you are cuddling?" I don't know. Um, I'm not sure. Plus, my mom said that you're very cute. Thank you. Tell your mom thank you. I appreciate that. Um, look, I love compliments. You're not going to offend me with a compliment. But what does it mean when a guy covers your eyes when you're cuddling? I don't know. I think that's a quirk. That's something unique to him. I've never heard that. I've never covered a girl's eyes when I was cuddling. So that's something that might just be a thing for him. I've never actually heard about anybody doing it. Or maybe like, what's the situation? You're cuddling and he's like trying to blindfold you. I don't understand what. Um, it just seems like a quirk, something unique to him and his personality. He might be a weird guy, a good weird. I'm weird, so I understand. I'm not trying to insult him. I'm just saying he just might be a quirky. One of the things he does. Okay, Chanel, not Chanel Nikayla, maybe Chanel Nikayla said we started dating seriously, but one day he wasn't in the mood to talk because he's upset about something, and he says it's hard for him to tell how he feels. Do you understand where he's coming from? We started dating seriously, but one day he says he's in the mood to talk because, yeah, okay. So basically, you're talking to some guy, and when he's upset, he doesn't really want to express himself. He just doesn't want to talk. He wants to be alone. Some people need to be alone with their anger. They need to sort it out by themselves. I think I like my space when I'm upset. I like a good amount of space too. Uh, I'm married. I have 2 kids. I have, 2 jobs. I don't necessarily get to space, but I do distance myself socially. Sometimes when I'm going through something, uh, just let him work it out. I don't think that a man not sharing, everything with you is always a bad thing. Sometimes men just the hell was that? Uh, Sometimes men just it was some shit on my computer screen. I'm sorry. Sometimes men just don't share their feelings well, especially when they're negative. They don't know how to open themselves up like that. And some people write better than they talk. So it'd be interesting if he would be willing to write those feelings down or have the text message conversation. Some people, like I said, express themselves better in written language. But at the same time, if a guy's upset about something, it's not always, you know, it's not always your place to be the person that pulls him out of that. And if he values you, ultimately he'll tell you what it is. If he feel like you should know, but I wouldn't take that very personally. As long as he's caring for you in the ways you need, sometimes he won't let you care for him in the ways you hope that he will, and that's just a masculine thing. Guys do that. Um, Sue B says, "Thanks for answering my question." Ashley Shawn says, "Thanks for answering my question." Let me see. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, got you. Okay, why would the Brooklyn Dreamer says, why would a guy ask you to hang out and then not seem interested in really getting to know you? Because he probably just wants sex or the feminine company. If a guy doesn't seem interested in getting to know you, then he probably just wants sex, or he's probably just seeing how attracted he is to you when you actually hang out. Um, Now, the other reason that guys don't necessarily seem interested in getting to know a person is when they talk about themselves a lot. But like I said, when a guy talks about himself a lot, sometimes trying to impress you, he's trying to qualify himself to you. I used to do that a lot, especially when I was like 17 or 18. I would talk about myself for so long, and I think I was doing so great. And then the girl would be like, "Oh my God, he didn't ask me about myself. He must not like me. He likes himself." And so that's something that some guys do that are trying to qualify themselves. So if he's not interested in you because he's talking about himself, he's not necessarily a narcissist. He might be trying to make himself look good. But if he's not interested in knowing you because he seems detached, then he probably just wants sex, and he's hoping that you don't have enough self-respect to just throw him some ass. Um, Simone Moultrie, I need to stop trying to do these names. Simone says, my guy friend friend zone me, but then complains I don't talk to him enough and still wants to flirt with me. I'm confused on why. A lot of times people do that. People friend zone you. Oh yeah, got my Dale Laura shirt on. Just in case anybody recognize that from the video I did about I don't even know what video I did, but I did, and I did have this shirt on in the video. I actually shot a little promo for it. I love the company. It's a great company. Shout out to DaleLaura.com. Go get your shirt. Butt naked woman playing the cello. Women's empowerment, all of that. I'm into it. Anyway, let me see. She said, still wants to flirt. Okay, so the guy friend zones you and still wants to flirt with you. It's probably see that's sometimes guys have a person that is in the friend zone that they exercise their flirtation skills with. They, you're always sparring with someone, and with the dynamic between guys and girls, especially young people. And I'm not sure if you're middle aged or younger or whatever, but a lot of times guys will flirt with a woman who they have no intentions on doing anything more with. Because it's good practice. You need to work on, your dynamic, and the way you communicate with the opposite sex. And it's inherent. It's not, people aren't as calculated as I might make it sound, but these are the subconscious intentions of a person. Sometimes they're just practicing, or sometimes, they might like you a little bit, but not enough for a relationship. So you get friend zoned because they don't really have room for the relationship. They don't want the extra responsibility, but they still value you, and they value the sexual tension between you two. It's important that if you're in the friend zone, not to go farther than your title says you should go. Because if you start giving a friend more than what a friend should give a friend, that was a tongue twister. If you start having sex with someone who's friend zoned you, then you will never get out the friend zone. But I would take that over being used for something else. I'd much rather be used for a friend and emotional support than used for my body. If I was a woman, guys don't really mind being used for their bodies sometimes. Okay, so I don't know who Stefan Clark is. And maybe they Julius Malima, I don't know who Stefan. She said, "Do you feel like Stefan Clark did?" Maybe y'all having a conversation. I don't know. I stopped talking to him because he put me in the friend zone. I didn't want to have sex with him. But thanks for the advice. Yeah, if a guy puts you in the friend zone and you stop talking to him, and it's still some, you're still trying to get over not pursuing a relationship because you didn't want to have sex with the guy, then I think you did the right thing. I think if he was pressuring you for sex, but he didn't want much else from you, and you felt that, and you're a little bit hurt by it, so you're having trouble getting over it. Lowering your standards for how he should behave with you isn't the answer. Miss Perfectly Imperfect. So you seem to have done the right thing. If you didn't want to have sex, and he put you in the friend zone, and you didn't want to have sex in the friend zone, you did the right thing. Don't give somebody more than what they're willing to give you. And sex would have been a commitment for you. It wouldn't have been that for him. And he put you in the friend zone to avoid the commitments that he could owe to you. So you did the right thing. But that doesn't mean you're going to feel good. I've done the right things plenty of times. I still owe people ass whoopings from 01. So when you do the right thing, you don't always feel good about it. You just try to be the bigger person, or be as big as you can be your best self. I don't know why, Kev. I feel like I know you outside of YouTube. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I'm the type of person that people normally say things like that about Jesse Medium. Like, I guess because I'm pretty genuine. You don't necessarily have to guess about my intentions, and those type of people always make you feel like you know them. And for the most part, y'all know enough about me to get the gist of who I am. I think I'm who people believe I am. I do my best not to mislead people or misguide people to who I might be. Lady B in 1986 says, or pitch your head. Or pitch your head. I think he was a weird guy, kid. Yeah, some guys are just different. They're just quirky. They're just awkward. And I actually love quirky people. I love people who do stuff like that because the uniqueness of a person is what makes them special. And most people don't really embrace what makes them unique. And so I like when people are genuinely who they are. I love when I go like to a store and the employee is like a person of personality. You know, they're not just like, "Hi, may I help you? Welcome to Target." You know, it's like they have their quirks and they let them show. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods buying some weights the other day, and the girl just started dancing to a song right at the cash register, and I loved it because it made me feel good. It was nice to see, you know, who she was outside of work. Um, Guys at Taco Bell telling jokes on the speaker while you're trying to order your food. Like, I really love that. So that guy's just quirk is just weird, but I love when people are genuinely who they are. And so yeah, that's probably why he was trying to cover your eyes or pet you on the head like a pet, Lady B, 1986. Magnormous, as a teacher, I appreciate the new word. Thank you, Taria Usher or Taria Usher. I make up new words all the time. Magnormous. I actually made that up word. I made Magnormous up a long time ago. I started saying that for something stupid a long time ago, and it's kind of stuck with me. I say it in public, and people don't know how to take it though. But I try not to say that type of shit in public. Um, Mrs. Fry says, "How do you know if a friend with benefits wants a relationship with you? Have you been in a friends with benefits relationship? I have been with a friends. I have been in a friends with benefits relationship for almost a year. My contact is sliding. Um, I keep getting some slide action on my right contact. Um, how do you know if a friends with benefits wants a relationship with you? I suppose a friends with benefits, it'd be easy enough to tell if a friends with benefits wanted more because they'd be doing things that alluded to them pursuing a more emotional connection. Now, the thing that complicates a friends with benefits is you're actually friends, and then you're doing this, but you're claiming that there's no connection outside of the casual. But a friends with benefits will start wondering where you are, who you're with, what you're doing. Um, they'll start to spend more time with you than just being a bed warmer. Because you're already friends. It's easy enough to cover uh, the intent to be more than friends with benefits. But just like a relationship, if a friends with benefits, if a partner that's a friend with benefits starts acting like they're in a relationship with you, they start keeping tabs on you. They want to know where you are, who you're hanging out with. They spend all day with you. They're taking up all your free time. They don't want the benefits. They want you. Uh, and so it's normally obvious enough because people invest their time in the person that they want to be with. They give them all the time. And if your friends with benefits is giving you their time, all of their available time, the time that they could be dating or talking to other people, they're definitely more into more than just the benefits. Okay. Hello, my brother told me his friend likes me a lot. Maybe he's the one. Maybe he is. Um, I feel better than right now. Let me see. Just seeing. I know I just lost one. My damn comment section just jumped. Okay. Uh, Dayshaw Holloway, what up, kid? Keep doing your thing, big dog. Love you, bro. Love you too, man. Look, who I got on, Dayshaw. Got him. DaleLord.com. Go buy a t-shirt or a hat. They got other stuff too, I think. Go buy something at DaleLord.com. I love the brand. The brand loves me. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, coupon code KFH will get you, I think, 15 or 20% off of this shirt. Like I said, it reminds me of the female empowerment movement. So, like I said, I really like the shirt. But uh, what up, Dale? Um, Sarah Benice says, been seeing this guy for 2 months. We haven't been intimate. How do I know if he's really into me or just enjoys hanging out? He wines and dines me, and that's it. How much of himself is he giving you? A lot of guys will take you out on a date, show you something nice every once in a while. Um, but if he's giving you his time, you've been seeing this guy for 2 months. I don't know what you mean by seeing him. Are you seeing him like once a week? Are you seeing him multiple times a week? Are you seeing him once a month? How many times have you seen him? If a guy's donating his time to you and he's not getting sex in return, but he is constantly in your company, then he definitely is into you. But if a guy's more casual about it, he's not trying to make an emotional connection with you. He's not really trying to figure out your background. Um, he's not sharing his emotional values with you, then maybe he's just hanging out. Some guys are way more casual when they're trying to get to know a girl because they don't want they don't want to fog up um, their senses when they're trying to figure out if they really like a girl and who she is. So some guys are just really slow. I take my time with a woman. I used to, well, before I start talking to a girl, I'd talk to her for, a month or two or sometimes three before I started, acting as if we were really dating. She'd feel friend zone for a while, which kind of helped me. Girls want what they can't have, but at the same time, it was just me taking my time. So some guys are really patient, Sarah Benice. As long as he's not requiring anything of you that you're not willing to give, then he may be into you. But it's hard for me to tell you because I don't know what you mean by hanging out. I don't know what you mean by whining and dining. Or he could just want your company, the female company. Some guys hire escorts and they don't even do nothing with them. They just take them out because they're bored and lonely. Very rich guys. But point is, guys need the company of a woman sometimes. So it depends on how much he's giving you, how much time. He's giving you a lot of time. He wants to be more than, or he's enjoying the dating process, but he's not giving you very much time outside of the whining and dining. Then he's probably not into you. Okay, on to the next question. How do you know when a guy is considering to have a relationship with you? I suppose that he starts again keeping more tabs on you. When a guy decides that he wants to be with you, or he's considering it, he starts to want to know more about you and what he's in for. He starts to ask more questions. He starts to pry a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing, and he tries to take up more time. Most of the time, the easiest way to know if a guy's starting to like you more or less is the fact that he's giving you more time. A guy who was previously unavailable for days at a time, all of a sudden is calling you every day instead of once or twice a week. A guy who previously didn't have very much time on the weekends is now making sure that every time he's not at work, he's with you. I know, like when I was dating my wife, we went from talking on the phone multiple times a week, to talking on the phone every day, to going out once a week, to her and I being together every day. You know what I'm saying? So usually the investment of time will change when a guy's considering having a relationship. He'll give you all of his time, or he'll give you more of his time than you had before. We were best. Christina says we are best. We were best friends first. How come men don't want to be friends after it doesn't work out if he values you as a person? A woman has the power to break a man, like to crumble him, just as these men do women. Women just always forget about the vulnerability of a man, and men, while they're masculine, they're just as vulnerable as women emotionally and psychologically. And so if a man don't want to be friends when it doesn't work out, given that let's say it doesn't work out, Christina, because of something honorable enough, like not you banged his homeboy or nothing like that, but let's say y'all got along, it was an amicable breakup or separation, or it was a peaceful division, and he still can't be friends with you. It's because you are way too important to him. You control too much of his emotional space, and he doesn't know how to function with you. And he needs to learn how to do that before he can resume a friendship with you. He has to make peace with the fact that somebody else is going to be taking you out, potentially laying you down. He has to make peace with the fact that he's not important to you, or he's not the most important guy or the most important opinion to you. Like that's a crushing defeat for a guy sometimes, to still be friends with the girl that he wants to be with. And so if he values you as a person, you might have to give him some space, and he may come back around. But if you're too important, or you have too much power over his emotional stability, he may never come back around, because you'll always be just as dangerous as you are now. And people write me all the time and they talk about, I ain't talked to this dude in 20 years. And it's because we broke up and now he wants to be back with me, but I ain't talked to him in 20 years. But it's because she was as powerful, on the reunion as she was on the breakup. And, some girls just have power over you. And if you have that type of power over a guy, if he loves himself enough to want stability, he'll get the fuck away from you, because he'll never have stability. He'll go crazy wanting you back and wishing that things were different. So I know it sounds like he might not value you as a person, but man, sometimes you can love someone too much. Um, Yasmin Harding, thank you for answering my question. 32 with kids, the same man. But yes, I got pregnant after 4 months and stayed with him 10 years. Okay, so Yasmin, you got you. I mean, it sounds like you did things the right way, but that guy just wasn't the person who took you out on dates, or maybe when y'all went out, it didn't count as a date because y'all had, y'all already had y'all shit established. But as far as with your kids, Yasmin, you want to make sure that not only don't you date ugly men that you won't be attracted to, but you date, or if you date an ugly man, he better be the best potential stepfather in the world. But man, you gotta find men for your kids. Like your kids are dating when you were dating, and don't I wouldn't bring men around your kids until you knew that things were going well enough. But also just understand that whoever you're dating, your kids are dating. These men have the ability to influence your kids, to harm them, or to help them. And I don't have to tell you that. I'm not teaching you motherhood, but just as a parent, you and I both know that those are the most important things, that is the well-being of our children. And so when you date, there's no lowering your standards. You have to actually raise the bar because you need people with integrity. Um, so good with that. um, what's your email? My email is Kev Hick Talks Guys for Girls at gmail.com. Most people have found me easier to communicate with, and they get quicker responses on Instagram. I don't know why Instagram. I usually end up with in a like a back and forth chat with people when I start getting on Instagram. Instagram is it's just a much easier medium, and because it has like character limits, most people don't get into their life stories as long and drawn out as they do in Gmail. Gmail, I get 9-page letters all the time, and I'm going to read them because you spent 2 hours writing that shit, but I would prefer not to. And that's in love. I say that in love. I got stuff going on. You got stuff going on. 500 words or less. Let's try that. But hit me on Instagram, KevHick24, and I'll get back at you probably quicker than I will on Gmail. Um, Man, I'm still on here. Good gracious. Didn't I say I was only gonna be here on here for like an hour or like 30 minutes, and this an hour and 37 minutes in. That's because I like to talk. Okay. Dating a younger guy, he lost his father, and I felt his distance. So I told him to take time in his space. Now he's hot and cold. What is this? He wants space yet. He wants to know what I'm doing. Well, I think that they say relationships are 50-50, and when it comes to consideration, it has to be. I understand a man wanting space, but if he needs space and he's not being considerate of what you want, then I'm not sure how you can reciprocate something you're not receiving from him. Um, I think y'all need to have a conversation about where the relationship is going, and if you're on the same page. But that's an understanding that you'll gain from him and not necessarily me. But there needs to be a difficult conversation had about the change in tempo. Other than that, can be fun if you're being silly. Um, if you have a crush on this guy that has a girlfriend and he tries to call me and text me, but he has a girlfriend, what should I do? You should always remind him of his girlfriend. Like, yeah, I'm over here cool. What your girlfriend doing? Like you need to be on top of that, because if she's going to be the other woman dealing with a guy like that, then eventually you'll be the other woman if you entertain him. So, or you'll be joined by another woman. And unless you want to be a sister wife, you need to make sure that these guys that have girlfriends that keep calling you and texting you understand the boundaries of the relationship. Unless you're into that polygamy. I had a girl write me that got cheated on, got left by a guy, and she was upset. And then he came back and he was like, yeah, well, I just want you and I want her, and y'all gonna be together. And she was like, she had always wanted that. So she actually joined them in a plural relationship. And I'm assuming she's having a great time, but she ain't wrote me about no relationship shit since. So, things might have worked out for her. But most people don't want to be in a plural relationship. So you always have to make sure that you're protecting yourself. Somebody said $100 donation. I don't think nobody dropped no. I wouldn't have missed a $100 donation. Be nice, but I wouldn't have missed that. Um, okay, I'm trying to catch my list. Let me see. Thank you for answering my question. No problem. Why would a guy go around saying that you're his future wife, but you're not in a relationship? A guy, like, okay, so Charlene Owens says, why would a guy go around saying that you are his future wife, but you're not in a relationship? I think the guy's trying to build the ambition of a relationship in your head, and if he knows that that's what you want, then he'll say it, and because it might make you feel good, it might give you a sense of security. Um, but if you're not in a relationship and he's actively avoiding an official relationship, then anything that comes out of his mouth is bullshit. You must judge a man by his actions and cross-reference them with his words. But fuck the words if the actions don't line up. The actions are what you judge first. And if a man's words line up with his actions, then you can it's safe to try to give him that benefit. But man, I don't give a fuck what a dude says. If his actions don't line up, then it don't even matter. Like and you have to be that way when you first meet a guy, when things are unestablished, when things are shaky, when you're building the bricks of a relationship. You have to be that way. You have to hold people accountable for who they tell you they are. You like white or black girls? Well, my wife is biracial, and I like everybody. Like I like black girls. I've always had an affinity for black girls. I've dated a lot of dark skinned women, but uh, like I don't have a type, you know. The black pride lion, that type of shit. That part of me is like, black, 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 But there's beauty in everyone, and everyone has something to offer. So I'm a person who likes to recognize the beauty in everybody and every background, and not like on some generic I love everybody shit, but I feel like there are different types of beauty. There are so many places that have different standards of beauty, and if you can recognize the beauty in a woman as a guy that doesn't involve her sex, then it becomes easy to recognize the different beauties related to her appearance. So for me, I'm into a lot of different things. My wife always says that she notices that I just like unique women. I like unique faces, unique figures. I don't. There's a certain cookie cutter image that I avoid, but it doesn't have as much to do with white or black. I'm naturally attracted to black women because I'm a black guy, and I don't really relate to white women as much dating. Like I've never dated a white woman. I've never kissed a white woman or anything like that because I've just never known how to relate to them as much. But it's not because I'm not attracted to them. It's just because I don't. I've never related to them, or at least I didn't while I was dating. About how to go about that, what the differences were, and so like I said, I wasn't some insane Casanova. I had options, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't the guy that just, was all over everything. I was very, very picky. So, um, you know, I like everybody, but I've never dated a white girl, if that answers your question. And I'm married, so I won't be dating any white girls at the moment. My wife is black and white and Native American, and I'm actually black from some region of Africa and Blackfoot Native American. So black right now is the term that I would coin. I'm not African American because I'm not as African as I am most likely Native American. But you see brown skin, you think Africa, but we're not all African, and 90% of the world is colored. So every black person isn't an African American, and most black people are biracial because we don't know what our culture is. We're disenfranchised, and some of us are from here. So that's a whole nother story. But I like everybody. I'm gonna get off of here and I got to get off of here in a couple of minutes, man, because I'll be on here all day because y'all keep going. Um, what does it mean when a guy crushes? I'm gonna try to do rapid fire. Oh, and I got a video coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna probably film it today. I'm gonna do two different questions I was asked. One was about a woman asked me a question about submission, and the other question was about uh, let me see. What my video topic? What does being submissive really mean? And do men like jealous women? And I did a 2-for-1 video, so you'll be expect to see the 2-for-1 video probably this weekend. Um, What does being submissive really mean? And do guys like jealous women are coming out? Okay, so you said what does it mean when a guy crush says he feels like he's in a relationship with you, but he's not? It means he wishes he's in a relationship and he might have been committing himself, but he doesn't feel like he's getting the benefits, or that's just what he wants. Sometimes people say things that they wish were true. Uh, so sad. I hope I will. Kevin, I've learned that about a lot of guys when it comes to breakups. Yeah. Thanks for answering my question. How often do you have live chats? I've been having them, every 2 weeks? Well, I guess I had one 2 weeks ago. I'm having one today. I had one a few weeks before that. I don't know. Maybe once a month, I probably have a live chat. I'll probably start doing live chats more often because I have so many questions that I don't get to them all. So I'll probably start doing more live chats to get at least 2 videos up a week. One live chat, one produced video. Hopefully, that's the goal after I finish this basement project. Which one he prefer more or less? Listen, I'm not gonna say your name. I don't. If you're dating people that you can adequately identify as nigga, then you will probably always have dating problems. Like, I'm a man, and there ain't no niggas in my house. And so a lot of times girls will write me and they'll say, what about this nigga doing this and the nigga did this, and if you can adequately identify your man as nigga, then there's probably a lack of character that you're referring to. Like, get yourself a man. Get yourself a man that identifies with his masculinity, with his power, um, with his culture. If your man calls himself nigga or answers to nigga, then you'll always have dating issues because you're not dating a man. Uh, and that's my 2 cents on that. I know. I think it hid your question. It won't let you say it because you keep saying the N word, and that's because people jump on my live stream and they tell me, nigger, go back to Africa. Well, I ain't from Africa, and you can kiss my fucking black ass. So if you say the word nigga, my live stream will block you. But because I keep getting called nigga by somebody that tells me to go back to Africa every time I jump on live stream. And again, I'm not from Africa. Half of my blood is Native American. So you go back to motherfucking Caucasia or wherever country you come from. I know Caucasia is not a place, Caucasus Mountains. Anyway, this ain't a white and black thing, but I won't be answering to nigga, and I'm not going back to Africa. And if you're still dating people you can call nigga, you'll probably, like I said, always have dating problems. Get yourself a man with some maturity and some culture, some values. No offense. Some probably taken, though, but no offense. I swear it ain't. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, I gotta get up off of here. Man, I gotta get these kids ready to do stuff. So let me try to get up off of here. I'm gonna do 5 minutes, 25 after I'm off of this thing, no matter what. My boyfriend and I've been together for 5 years, and he cheated multiple times, but ends up always trying to find a way to blame everything on me. Why? Because he's a piece of shit, and you should stop dating him. Rapid fire. I have a friend that's trying to get in a relationship with a woman who has 3 kids, as old as he is, 29, and she's in their mid 40s. Will that relationship last or no? Well, it could last if they have mutual respect for each other. I've seen older women and younger men, and vice versa. It does last for a time, but who knows, man? They could be good people. They could be a good match, but I doubt it. All right, yeah. I'm about to get up off here. Y'all be cool. It was nice talking to y'all. Thank you for joining me on my live stream. Like I said, I will be doing a video about those 2 subjects, or editing video and getting it up maybe by the end of the day, if not tomorrow morning. So please go check that video out. Check out girltalkwithguys.com. I haven't been doing blogs lately because I've been so busy in my personal life with this business project. But check that out. Check out DaleLord.com. Buy a t-shirt. I really mess with them. They good people over there. I'm going to get with y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm going to hit the end of this live stream button right now. So goodbye. Yeah, I want